Hello everyone. So today's video is going to be about Jean-Michel Foucault. This is going to be a mini documentary of his life, and we're going to know who this man is, what did he fight for, and how did he achieve change and the impacts of his. So let's start by knowing who exactly is this person. Jean-Michel Foucault was a French 20th century philosopher and historian born in Poitiers, France, into an upper middle class family. Michel Foucault was a French philosopher, a historian of ideas, social theorist, and a literary critic. He was born on October 15, 1926 in Poitiers, France, and died on June 25, 1984 in Paris, France. Foucault's work focused on the relationships between power and knowledge and how they are used as a form of social control through societal institutions such as psychiatry, medicine, the prison system, and sexuality. He was influential in the fields of philosophy, sociology, political science, and cultural studies. Michel Foucault tackled a range of issues related to power, knowledge, and social control. He is known for his work in post-structuralism, which is to doubt the existence of a concrete reality and argue that ideas and perceptions of reality depend on constructed discourses within a society. His work aimed to challenge conventional understandings of these concepts and to uncover the mechanisms through which power operates in society. Foucault examined the ways in which power and knowledge are intertwined. He argued that power does not simply repress or limit, but also produces knowledge and shapes truth claims. His goal was to reveal how various forms of knowledge are constructed within specific historical and social contexts, and how they serve to maintain power structures. Foucault also developed the concept of disciplinary power, described the mechanism of control operating within institutions such as prisons, schools, hospitals, and factories. He analyzed how disciplinary techniques such as surveillance, normalization, and hierarchical observation are used to regulate individuals and shape their behavior. His goal was to expose the ways in which these institutions functions as sites of power and control. Foucault also explored the historical construction of sexuality and the ways in which it is governed and regulated by discourses of power. He argued that sexuality is not a fixed or natural category, but rather a historical contingent formation shaped by power relations. His goal was to challenge dominant understandings of sexuality and to uncover the ways in which it is used as a form of social control. Lastly, while Foucault's work often focused on the operation of power, he also explored forms of resistance and subversion. He emphasized the importance of understanding power relations in order to identify points of resistance and to challenge oppressive structures. His goal was to empower individuals and communities to resist domination and to imagine alternative modes of existence. He spent most of his career criticizing the power of the modern bourgeois capitalist state, including its police, law courts, prisons, doctors, and psychiatrists. His goal was to work out nothing less than how power worked and then to change it in the direction of a Marxist-anarchist utopia. A Marxist-anarchist utopia, one could imagine a society where the principles of both Marxism and anarchism are integrated. That means of production could be collectively owned and managed by the workers themselves in line with the Marxist principles, but without the need for a centralized state apparatus. Instead, decision-making could be decentralized with communities and workplaces organizing themselves through voluntary associations and federations, such as a society would prioritize meeting the needs of all individuals while ensuring the power is distributed horizontally rather than concentrated in the hands of few. Michel Foucault's work and democracy are different in several ways, primarily because Foucault's work focuses more on analyzing power dynamics, knowledge production, and disciplinary mechanisms within society, whereas democracy is a political system based on the principles of equality, freedom, and participation of citizens in decision-making. Foucault's contributions include his critiques of modern institutions, his development of the concept of disciplinary power, and his analysis of the historical formation of knowledge and subjectivity. His major works include Madness and Civilization, 1961, The Birth of the Clinic, 1963, Discipline and Punish, 1975, and The History of His Sexuality, 1976 to 1984. Foucault's ideas continue to be widely studied and debated across various disciplines, influencing contemporary understanding of power, knowledge, and subjectivity. While there may be intersections between Foucault's work and democracy, such as in critiques of power relationships within democratic societies, they are fundamentally different in their focus, approach, and objectives. While Foucault's work primarily focused on analyzing power structures and mechanisms of control, he did not extensively prescribe specific strategies or tactics for social change. However, his insights have been influential in informing various approaches to resistance and activism. Here are some strategies and tactics that individuals and movements have drawn from Foucault's ideas. Foucault emphasized the importance of critical inquiry and analysis in understanding power relations and social injustices. His work encourages individuals and groups to engage in rigorous examination of the institutions and discourses that shape their lives. By questioning dominant narratives and ideologies, activists can expose underlying power dynamics and mobilize for change. Inspired by Foucault's emphasis on resistance, activists may engage in direct action, civil disobedience to confront oppressive institutions and practices. This can include sit-ins, blockades, and other forms of non-violent resistance aimed at disrupting the status quo and drawing attention to social injustices. Foucault's analysis of power relations highlights the interconnectedness of different forms of oppression. Activists may build coalitions and forge solidarities across various social movements to confront intersecting systems of power such as racism, sexism, homophobia, and capitalism. By working together, activists can amplify their voices and create broader alliance for social change. Foucault emphasized the role of knowledge in perpetuating and challenging power structures. Activists may engage in education and consciousness-raising efforts to empower individuals and communities with critical awareness of social injustices. This can involve workshops, teachings, and community dialogues aimed at fostering dialogue, reflection, and collective action. Foucault's work has inspired social activists and movements to challenge oppressive power structures and advocate for social justice. His emphasis on resistance, subversion, and the possibility of alternative forms of knowledge has empowered marginalized groups to question dominant narratives and assert their agency. Present-day social justice movements such as Black Lives Matter and climate activism share similarities with Foucault's emphasis on resistance and challenging dominant power structures. These movements highlight issues of systemic oppression, inequality, and environmental justice, echoing Foucault's critique of power relations.